So, my name's John Murphy, I'm PES team leader for Europe. We've got a number of videos to show you about improvements that we've been announcing around E3 and since then, to show you the improvements that we've made since PES 2011. And then after that, I think we can go on and talk about some additional improvements that we'll be announcing in the next couple of weeks. So, as a general introduction, I'd like to talk about how really this year the focus for us is on gameplay, and we're doing that with boosting a great deal of the AI in the game to really give you an experience that's very, very satisfying and fulfilling, and gives you as many options and choices as possible within the game to build up the game as you want. And also we're backing that up with improvements to defensive situations and the way that teams react as a unit as well. So right the way across the pitch you should see the AI improvements kicking in. So the first video we're going to show you, the first three in fact, are about what we're calling active AI. And the reason we've given it that term is because it should always be looking to give you options, always never standing still, always trying to push play on. So in the first instance here we've got examples of overlapping play, and we'll see first of all that PES 2011, this was happening far too often where you've got the ball and the players are standing still. You know where you want them to be going and they weren't, it was frustrating, it led to the game being a broken up affair, not satisfying as a game of PROEVO should be. 2012 overlaps straight away, ball, before it reaches this man, you're going to get a man running off the ball. So the AI is always trying to act. PES 2012, we've simplified the system itself, and we've moved the camera back behind the player so that you've got a much better idea of where you're shooting. The power button directs the amount of lift that you have on the ball, and then you use the left stick by varying degrees to put varying amounts of left or right on the ball. So it's very simple. And then the goalkeeper, all you're doing is moving left or right. It makes an impact of you when you move left or right, but that's all you're doing, moving left or right. And then you also have the ability to, for the little chip as well, using R1. VIA scoring. How's that at the moment?
Well, so-so.
And I think finally we're going to have a look at some details that help with the atmosphere, the general atmosphere of the game. You might have seen some of this in the E3 video already, but this goes into some details about how we make it happen. So we wanted to get more emotion into the players' faces, and we wanted the team to act in more emotional ways. So we're building the tension with various techniques. You can see that we're using now sweat developing on players' foreheads, that actually develops also on the neck, also down the arms. You can actually see when this rotates, you can see that the lighting effects are real time, and actually that even the eyeballs have reflections in it, that level of detail. In addition to making them sweat up when they're really working hard, you can see the way that they react to each other is very much more emotional now, partly due to the animation that we're doing on the faces. So we're animating around the eyebrows and around the mouth, and the way that we can contract and restrict those muscles means that we can get them to show anger and aggression and bring through the emotion of the game. You can see the way that that works into a sort of team situation there. And the final thing that we're adding to add a sense of emotion is we're popping up the neck muscles as well, just to give it that boost of adrenaline.